Hello everybody, we're back to Mr. Magpie's Harmless card game. It's just really tickling my brain, and when I find games that do that, I'm inclined to just keep playing them, so I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm just gonna try and be smarter about it, because otherwise we're just gonna keep getting crushed. 3 columns have at least one Jerry. Okay. Cracking start. So that column might have 2. Alright. Get those multipliers in. Alright. There's a column with 1. There is 1 Jerry in the corners of the board. I already know that. We should do the I for a few dollars up here. Each row has at least 1 Jerry. So that row, this row, this row. So this is not a Jerry. Do we want to risk our health at this stage? 3 columns have at least 1 Jerry. This column, that column, and one of these columns. Each row has at least 1 Jerry. So one of these 2 and one of these 3. And there is a Jerry in a corner. I'm gonna punt on this one. Nice. So it's one of these 2 and one of those 2. But we cannot differentiate between those at all. Alright. When you flip cash in a corner, upgrade it. When you purchase this, duplicate a random perk. When you flip a hint, activate adjacent money cards. I'm going to take stacked cash a second time. No, this is not what I wanted. I just duplicated my fax machine. Okay. Let's take a cash card. When you flip cash in a corner, upgrade it. When you flip up, all non-enemies gain. When you flip a card, this perk gains $1. Alright, we'll do that. And go. 2 columns have at least 1 Jerry. So 2 columns have either 2 and 2 or 3 and 1, which is great knowledge. Hidden cash, when you flip cash in a corner, upgrade it. When you flip a cash card, this perk gains 1. When you flip up all non-enemies, gain money. Get upgraded. Get upgraded. Love to see it. Open the eye. Finish the column. Finish the column. All Jerrys are in a 3x3 square. They could all be within this, all 4 of them. Could be 2 and 2. Let's do this right-hand side. Each row has at least 1 Jerry. Okay. So it's basically they're either all in here or all in here. And we have 2 shields still. Okay. Alright, they're all in there. So, well, they could be... No, they can't. They can't. It's a 3x3 area, so it can be across that border. So it's not that or that. At least 2 columns have at least 1 Jerry. You're not a Jerry. Each row has at least 1 Jerry. So there's at least 1 here and at least 1 there, which means there's not 1 here. Oh no, because it's 4. Yeah, it could be there. 2 columns have at least 1 Jerry. Each row has at least 1 Jerry. All of them are in a 3x3 area. Oh man. Alright, give me the cash injection, but that sucked. When a round begins, gain mult for each common perk. Uncommon, common, common, common. But I can't afford it. I want the infinite a lot, but I'm not gonna. When an eye opens, reactivate a random non-eye card. Sure. One adjacent to eyes. Okay. Some good multiplier. Do the corners. No Jerrys are adjacent to each other. I can have those two then. There's one here. Which means this is very unlikely to be one. If one of these is one, this can't be one. So there's probably one in there. There's one here. This is probably not one if one of these is one, because they can't have two. 3 money, 1 hint. Still got a life. Classic. Alright. Let's not burn ourselves too early. Happy hour. At the top of the hour, we just missed it. Take another hint. When you flip a Jerry, reactivate adjacent cards. There are more Jerrys to the left of this hint than to the right. There are 0 Jerrys in the corners of the board. There is 1 Jerry adjacent to eyes. So there's 1 here and 3 over here. But they're not there and they're not there. Of course. One of the rows has no Jerrys. Okay. Eyes are open. So one of these two. There's 1 adjacent to eyes. There are none in the corners. One of the rows has none. There are more to the left than the right. Well, I'm glad I didn't check that one. When activated, apply my effect twice. Sure. Give me one more hint. When you purchase this, duplicate a random perk. Sell nest egg. Sell smart goals. We got a second hidden cache. Burnout. When you flip Jerry, gain 1 malt. When you flip all non-enemies, gain money. When you flip a lonely multiplier, reactivate it. When a round begins, +1 malt for each face-up card. When you flip a lonely money, reactivate it. Let's try that. I wonder if it will help with stuff in the corners getting even bigger faster. And we'll grab a break room. I shouldn't have clicked that one after getting the reward. When you make more than 100, upgrade all face-up money. Let's do that, because we're going to have more money cards. There are 0 Jerrys in this column. Be money. $4. Alright. Damn. The largest grouping is 2. Eyes are open. Oh my god. There are 0 Jerrys adjacent to this card. That could be a group of 2. Nice. So we made bank, so all of them upgraded. So it could be you and one of these, but it doesn't have to be. It could be 2 of these next to each other. There is 1 Jerry adjacent to eyes. We know that. It's not going to be... Oh, it is that. So it's you 2. We can do the rest then. Alright. We got some money. We are low on health, but it's only 10 PM. When an eye opens, reactivate cards to its right. When an eye opens, reactivate cards to its right. Interesting. When you flip a lonely, let's sell that. Take side eye. And take global reactivator. And one more hint. We'll see if we can make enough money with this build. One of the rows has no Jerry's. Interesting. When an eye opens, reactivate cards to its right. Okay. It's not this row that has no Jerry's. Okay. How much do I want to risk anything right now? There are 7 cards here, there are 6 cards here. If we stop, we're not going to get the money we need, I think. There are 0 Jerry's adjacent to this card. Okay. No Jerry's are adjacent to each other, so that's safe. 4 columns have at least 1 Jerry. So it's not this, it's not that. Odds are that these 2 are not Jerry. But if we find it last, then, you know, it's no good to me. No Jerry's are adjacent to each other. No! I'm so mad. Alright, we got this. One of the rows has no Jerry's. There are more Jerry's to the right than to the left. That was the row with none. There's probably 1 to the left, 3 to the right. The largest group is 2. Right, $3. Oh, gross. Okay, so you could be a group of 2, you could be a group of 2, you could be a group of 2. This is the row that has none. There's a hint out there somewhere. That's just free money. Alright, $32 is enough. Churn. When a round begins, double the sell value of your rightmost perk and sell it. When you flip a money card, flip up adjacent face down money cards. I will take sticky cash and then try and just buy as many cash cards as we can. There are 0 Jerry's in the corners of the board. That's what you want to see. Alright, there's a Jerry. There's another Jerry. Alright. I'm out. I want to buy cash. When an eye opens, flip adjacent hints. Sure. One of the rows has no Jerry's. The eye has no hints. Two hints remain. One of the rows has no Jerry's. It's looking like at the top row. All the Jerry's are in a 3x3 square. So it's either that or... It can't be this 3x3 square. So it has to be this 3x3 square or this 3x3 square. We have enough health to determine which side it's going to be. It's going to be that side. So this is okay, this is okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's okay. And we're done. $39. That's a really good retrigger. We could get happy hour though. At the top of the hour. When you flip a lonely money, reactivate it. It won't be lonely because we've got sticky cash, so... At least I think that's how that goes. There are 0 Jerrys adjacent to eyes. Good. We've got 11x on our malt. Look for hints. There is 1 Jerry in the corners of the board. That's good money. There's only $1 left to find. There is 1 Jerry in this row. So that's safe, that's safe. There's just multipliers and Jerry's left to find. So let's finish this row and then leave. That column, sorry. Still no money for sale. When you complete a row, reactivate that row. When you purchase this, duplicate a random perk. Let's sell happy hour. Sell looking for info. If we sell sticky cash can't work twice, you know? So take conveyor belt. And then take fax machine, hope it doesn't hit sticky cash. Of course it hits sticky cash. Stapler, when you sell this, attach the rightmost to the left. When you purchase a perk, this gains 10 sell value. When you flip a multiplier, all perks gain 1 sell value. Alright. Sold. There are more Jerrys to the left than to the right. So, when you complete a column, gain money. When you flip a money card, flip up adjacent face down money cards. When you complete a row, reactivate that row. When you flip a multiplier card, flip up adjacent face down multiplier. So we've got sticky cash, sticky pills. When you flip a multiplier, all perks gain $1 of sell value. When you purchase a perk, it gains $10. Four columns have at least 1 Jerry. They all re-trigger. Does that not all re-trigger? I guess I'd have to open this again, but I don't want to do that the way things are. There are more Jerrys to the left than to the right. So there's 1 over here and possibly none over here. Or 1 over here and 1 over there. I think we just end. $89. Printer. When an eye opens, give 2 money for each hint. At the top of the next hour, upgrade all face-up multipliers. I want this. Then if we can make that row repeat itself with conveyor belt, that'll be great. Give me a salad. A group of 3 Jerrys. There is 1 Jerry adjacent to eyes. So it could be 1, 2, 3. Could be 1, 2, 3. Could be 1, 2, 3. That could be a group of 3. One of the rows has no Jerrys. Looks like the top row. Well, this is group of 3, or that's the group of 3. One of the two. Nice. Alright, so that has to be the group of 3. So we can just unwrap these 3 because we've got 1 shield. And go. Alright, coming up on 10 PM. When you sell another perk for the first time in a round, make a copy of it. Interesting. After flipping up dealt, multipliers gain 2 mult. When eye opens, flip adjacent dollar cards. Give me money, because I wanted to sticky cash lots of money together. When an eye opens, reactivate cards in corners. You flip a multiplier, all perks gain 1. Sell this to attach. Happy hour and stocks. When you complete a row, all your perks gain 10. When a round begins, flip a hint. Let's sell sticky pills. Buy info desk. Sell the stapler. Buy happy hour stocks. There are 0 jerrys in corners. There are more jerrys to the right than to the left of the hint. Yes, money. More money. Oh, we got happy hour. Amazing. Right. There are more to the right than to the left. So there's got to be 3 here and 1 over here. So we can just kind of open up all that, and then that's the whole floor done already. Swish through that. More money. And I'll take a hint. Three columns have at least 1 jerry. There are 2 jerrys on corners. So that's 1 column. That's another column. Oh no, they could be in the same corner. They could be the ones in the same corners. Money. One of the rows has no jerrys. Probably this one. Okay. So that's probably a jerry, because otherwise it would have to be 2 of the rows have no jerrys. So that's a jerry. 3 columns have at least 1 jerry. So 1 column and 2 of these. Well, all that's left is a hint and a jerry. If I do this, it should re-trigger that because of conveyor belt. When you complete a row, reactivate that row. Can I do that twice? Oh, I can. Amazing. Could I do it once more, spend the heart, and get even more money? Worth it. Can we sell our way to 999? 40, 75, and 12 is just shy, which is a shame. In which case, let's... We don't need a break room, do we? Let's just go. The largest group of jerrys is 2. One of the rows has no jerrys. That's what you want to see. Alright, there's a jerry. Got 1 more shield. Largest grouping of jerrys is 2. That could be 2. One of the rows has no jerrys. Right, 921. Now we could sell enough stuff to get out of here. So, Sell, 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 leave. We've got 64 minutes spare. Start in debt. But we're halfway through that. I don't love starting in debt. There is one Jerry adjacent to eyes. Sell value minus 35. When a round begins, this loses 5 value. Does that get closer to 0 or... I don't know. Maybe I need to have enough money to sell this. Could be a problem. Damn. Real bad. Right, there's one adjacent to eyes. Each row has at least one Jerry. Here, here, and one of those. Alright, well... we can just do that. There's... how can there be one hint, one drug, and one Jerry if there's only 2 unknown cards? Oh, that wasn't a hint, that was an eye. And I clicked the eye. Of course. Okay. When you flip a Jerry, flip a random money card. When an eye opens, flip adjacent hints. We have to get out of debt, though. There's one Jerry in the corners. That's a Jerry. That's another Jerry. There are 0 Jerrys adjacent to eyes. 3 columns have at least one Jerry. Oh! So, the corner and the other one of that corner, or this one could have 2. This could have 2. This has 1. But there's at least 1 in the corner. So this is safe. This is safe. This is safe. This is now at minus 40, which is really annoying. I guess you just kind of have to not worry about it until you've got like 600 bucks. Then you can just get rid of it without a second thought. One Jerry in a corner, 0 adjacent to eyes, 3 columns. So it could be that one and that one. It could be that one and one of these. We'll never know. Queen of Cash. After flipping all monies, reactivate them. When an eye opens, upgrade adjacent cards. When an eye opens, flip adjacent money cards. I like the upgrades, but it's tough. Oh, a hint that's always up? Do it. And give me something cheap and helpful. Salad. Done. No Jerrys adjacent to each other. 0 in the corners. I should have flipped the corners before I ate the salad. One of the rows has no Jerrys. 4 columns have at least 1 Jerry. Okay. 4 columns have at least 1. We can do that, and we can do that. No Jerrys are adjacent to each other. That doesn't help me at all. 4 columns have at least 1. There is 0 at the corners. 1 of the rows has none. 4 columns. No next to each other. I don't think I can pick out of what's left. $32. Take an eye. At the top of the hour, transform into a random uncommon perk. When you flip a card, gain sell value. Sales pitch. When you purchase this, your perks gain $10 of sell value. I didn't purchase it. Well, I can sell it for 14. That's something. There are 0 Jerrys in the corners of the board. There is 1 Jerry adjacent to eyes. One of the rows has no Jerrys. There are 0 Jerrys adjacent to this card. So this eye has 1 adjacent to it. One of the rows has none. Alright, there's 1 Jerry. There's another Jerry. So this is safe and this is safe. So one of the Jerrys is in one of these. This is the row that has no Jerrys. There is 0 in the corners. We've done all that. There's 1 adjacent to eyes. There is 0 Jerrys adjacent to this card, so we have no way of disambiguating. There's 1 here, and one of these 3 is another. Okay. Let's take another hint. Sell sales pitch. This is now at minus 50. We've already got looking for info. When you sell this perk, attach the rightmost perk in the shop. When you complete a row, your perks gain $10 of sell value. When a round begins, flip a multiplier card. If we buy the stapler and then sell it, we can't afford to buy the thing we create, I think. It's 60. I thought it would be not that. I was like, maybe if we sell stuff we can get to it, but we're not gonna. No, can't do it. Shame. There's 1 Jerry adjacent to eyes. 3 columns have at least 1 Jerry. Look for info. There is 1 Jerry adjacent to this card. There is 1 Jerry in this row. And there's still 1 hint to be found. I've just got nothing working for me and no money. There is 1 Jerry in the corners of the board. Probably that one then, so this is safe. 1 Jerry in this row is that one, so this is safe and this is safe. 1 adjacent to eyes is this, so that's 1, that's 2. Finish the rows to get the money. There are 1 Jerry's adjacent to eyes. Flag that as a Jerry. I actually got right click to flag. There is 1 Jerry in the corners of the board. That's this one, so this is safe. 3 columns have at least 1 Jerry. This one, and then one of these 2 columns. So with 2 lives, we can do that. Still with 1 life. 3 more Jerrys is that, and that, and we're done. Info desk. Flip a hint. Make it rain. When you make bank, upgrade or face up cards. Please excuse my silence for sneezing. Thoughts. We're not going to pass bank for ages. When you flip a multiplier, all perks gain 1 of sell value. When a round begins, flip a money card. When a round begins, upgrade all face-up cards. We don't have any face-up cards. Largest group of Jerry is 2. There are 3 Jerrys adjacent to eyes, so it's either 2 and 1 or 2 and 1, which is great knowledge. There's the last one, so we can just do that. And then it's 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, but with other hints we can probably figure it out, right? There's one Jerry in the corner, we know that. One of the rows has no Jerrys at the bottom row. 3 columns have at least 1 Jerry. Yep. There are 3 Jerrys adjacent to eyes. The largest group of Jerrys is 2. Yeah, we can't figure it out. We can guess once for free. Alright. $92. We can sell this for minus 57 and free up a slot finally. $198. Rough. It's already 10 PM. We've got nothing going. Right, sell nest egg. Buy a stapler. 360 feedback and queen of cash. Done. When you flip a multiplier, all perks gain $1 of sell value. I'd rather have a salad. There are 2 Jerrys adjacent to eyes. There are more Jerrys on the right of this hint than the left. Odds are then that these are the 2 adjacent, but we can do that and look for hints. Oh, the largest Jerry grouping is 2. And there are more to the right. Let's do that. There are 0 Jerrys adjacent to this card. Oh, I forgot about 360 feedback. I should remember things that I'm doing. Okay. There are more Jerrys to the right than to the left. There are 0 Jerrys in this row. There's 1 reactivator, 1 cash, 4 baddies. 1 baddie, 2 baddies. That's the 3rd one, because 2 are adjacent to eyes. The largest grouping is 2, so it has to be those 2, so that's okay, and that's okay. Alright, we get through that. The day's getting on, though. Loop in. At the start of the round, gain 1 mult for each reroll in the last shop. Interesting. Very interesting. Alright, I'm not gonna... am I? We'll do that. We don't have 16 to spend now, but we get 4 extra malt next round. 4 columns have at least 1 Jerry. I meant to click that one first because I want this to... Oh my god. Okay, no bonuses out of that. 2 Jerrys adjacent to eyes. I probably could have figured that out if I'd have been looking over here before I looked over there. Sigh. There is 1 Jerry in the corners of the board and 4 columns. So 1 column, 2 column, 3 column. Not that. 4 column. Huh? Oh, the one in the corner was already accounted for, you dummy. Why am I bad? I love this game so much. There are 0 Jerrys adjacent to eyes. The largest group of Jerrys is 2. Right, so it's 1, 2, or 1, 2, or 1, 2. Impossible to tell otherwise. At least we're not in debt anymore. That lasted forever, didn't it? Take an early salad. When an eye opens, gain money. That seems terrible. When the round begins, upgrade all face-up cards. When the round begins, gain +1 more for each face-up card. The early bird and the early worm. Give me a fortune cookie. Alright. Forget those. Give me the conveyor belt. There is one adjacent to this card. There is one in this column. Alright. There are an equal number of Jerrys to the left and to the right. There's one in this column and one adjacent to this. That's safe, that's safe. There is one Jerry adjacent to this card. There is one in this column. There are an equal number of Jerrys to the left and right. It would be just pure guesswork. Alright, let's not guess anymore. Sticky cash. Can't afford it. Just give me another hint that's face up immediately. There's one Jerry in this row. There is one Jerry adjacent to eyes. So that's safe, that's safe, that's safe. There are an equal number of Jerrys to the left and right of this hint, so that's safe. There's one here and one there. There are 0 Jerrys in the corners. So, there's one here and one up there somewhere. So that's a Jerry. That's a Jerry. That's everything. Okay. Info desk. The round begins, flip a hint. When an eye opens, reactivate a random non-eye card. When you purchase this, duplicate a random perk. Alright, so we got double conveyor belt, which could be very big. There are 0 Jerrys adjacent to this card. The largest group of Jerry is 2. 4 columns have at least 1 Jerry. Alright, we can do a decent amount with that. There is 1 Jerry in this row. It's that one. There are 0 Jerrys adjacent to this card. The largest group of Jerry is 2. 4 columns have at least 1 Jerry. So it's not this. 4 columns have at least 1 Jerry. 4 columns have at least 1 Jerry. You give me the same hint twice. That's not helpful. So that can't be a 2. That could be a 2. But that could be 3. Damn. Alright, I'm out. $28. Nothing to be done here, I think. Unless we find something happy and cheap. No, nothing great there. Come on, brain. You can do it. There are 0 Jerrys in the corner. You get 1 card. The largest group is 2. There is 1 adjacent to eyes. Great. There is 1 Jerry in this column. So that's a group of 2. There's 1 adjacent to eyes. There's 1 somewhere else. There are an evil number of Jerrys to the left and right, so that's free. One adjacent to eyes, and the largest group is 2. So that's the 2. That's safe. What? Oh, there were 2 groups of 2. You tricked me. All right, that's all for today. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.